I did the ritual with the Archangels and some of the Geomangels last night, and they had a message of how you should prepare yourself in case there is solar flare, blackouts, natural disasters. First of all, it is to your surroundings, your location and your country. Each country have different rules and governments. And they have the page of the country, the website, each country has one, and also the governmental and the military pages to look there. They have instructions there for natural disasters and so on and other things. But since there is so much false propaganda and false news on internet, especially online today, there's also this message about that go to your library or your historical society and look at the old clippings or books about how people survived natural disasters. Let's say for 100 years ago. They knew how to survive back then without internet. They knew how the water flooded. They knew where there were lesser forest fires. You have these places in each forest that burn only, let's say, every 500 years, and other places burn every 100 years. So there is that natural in biology there. And with water, with flooding, is water always takes the easiest way. And then you also have the effect of the water. If you try and put a few drops of water on a plain surface, after a minute or so, all the water drops have joined in together and become big. So that is something to consider. And the same with hurricanes and twisters. If you live on a straight road like me, that it is completely straight, it is a car road and it is straight, that's where the speed of the wind really catches up, so it gets more affected in those cases. And then also the sad news. I've been to pages around this country, and the advice they give out, that is, let's say, people with small children who can't afford food. They can't afford to buy the food to store for storage, or the bottled water, and the enormous amounts they ask you to buy. And the same goes with if you live in a place where there is a lot of flooding, then rice and beans might not be the greatest thing to store, since it's humidity. And the same with canned food. It might be cheap in other countries, but here it's really expensive. Butter is the same. They used to cost, let's say for a pack, they used to cost around $2 American. Now they are costing up to $20. So you have all these things that you must adapt to from your situation. And also, one important thing is they always suggest that you should find a place where you can meet up if there is no cell phones, there is no electricity, there is no way to connect, a place where you meet up. But the Finnish military, since I come from that line, we always had 3 to 5 different locations where we should meet up. The meeting up places need to be different, both altitude and also depending on what kind of, if there is severe weather, if there's flooding, if there's fires, hurricanes or earthquakes, it needs to be different locations where you can set up that you will leave either a message by taking pen and paper to your loved ones or your friends, and where you meet up, but have a multiple set of locations there. And for the rest of the thing is, you are all able to connect to the angels and ask them to guide you directly. And many will use pagan spirits and so on, and different traditions and different cultures. And that is whatever it is, but just make sure that you will learn to follow your own intuition and use your own mind. And there is something that I know from experience in poor countries that has been through a lot. People are, they open their homes when other people are in need. When you come to a town or in richer part of town, everybody locks their doors and nobody helps out. And that is the reality of the world we live in. But if you have the choice, help all those who are in need. You don't know what abilities they have. They might be excellent at building sheds or housing or dig a well or whatever is necessary when you are if you need to move to a temporary location. And remember the old saying that is all over the Bible, but also in other cultures and traditions, that the angels walk amongst you in human form sometimes. So treat everybody with the respect that it might be an angel that is just trying if you are opening your door and helping out. And that way you have an angel to assist you and miracles can happen. And the blessing of sharing and taking care of each other, that is what builds a community. You can set standards and high requests that no boozing or no drugs and no violence and that kind of thing, and that is fine. But if somebody is weak and sick or they are just disabled or whatever, take care of them too. And if they want to stay and don't want to move, you respect that. It's everybody's own decision whether they want. Sometimes people can be so tired and ill that they just can't move and they don't want the burden of being a burden to another. And especially old people, if they have family and children they love, they want to be left behind. They don't want to follow. They just want their own offspring and loved ones to be safe. So check out historical societies and libraries and check out the old maps where there are always old newspaper clippings of people when disaster hit, how they survived and how they did. And learn to think for yourself. The government isn't always right. They might ask you, like here, that people should have, let's say, over $3,000 to spend on just to be on the safe side, and that is not doable. They might have less than $30. So there is a big gap there. And everybody is asked to provide for their own. So you do you, and you ask the angels for help, and you walk with faith, and you know that this will affect different areas of the world. And one solar flare or geomagnetic storm doesn't mean that the whole earth goes. It depends on what area is affected. So don't panic, but listen to the news if you have a connection to hear the news. Old transistor radios are usually better. But unless it is so, trust your own instinct. Have a few locations, both high up and away from different things, and it's good to have something so you can build a shed, rope, an axe to cut some branches and so on, a knife. If you're allowed to carry a knife in your country, we are not. So there are all these different things what you can take and do. And this is not a doomsday warning. This is just preparation so all of you will stay safe and loved and protected and your loved ones. I love you all. And I will leave links to a few articles in the comments section as well that I find are very educational. I love you all and bye for now.